in a bid to train 1 million software developers across the continent by 2027. PowerLearn project in partnership with Adanian Labs South Africa and the ICRD Group's Startup Business Campus launched the initiative. For more on this, we're joined by CEO of Sci Bono, Dr. More Chakana. Thank you very much for availing yourself this morning, Doc. When we talk about software developers, what are we talking about?
Good morning, Dudu, and the listeners and the viewers. Software developers, these are people that will have the skills to produce all these things like apps that we are using. For example, your software in banking that is being used, the apps of different companies. So they have a specific skill that is required to do this kind of work. Unfortunately, here, Dudu, in the whole of Africa, we don't have such people. And the unfortunate part of our continent is that 60% of the population is actually the youth in Africa. And now if you look at that 60%, plus or minus of them in the region of about 70 to 80% are either unemployed or underemployed. And now if you look at the way the world is going, we're sure that in the future there's going to be a lot of technology. We're going to need these software developers and engineers. Now, if you look at it from that point and agree that Africa is going to be the leader in the world to come, so it means we have to empower these youth in Africa with these software developers, with those skills. Now, just to give you a sense, to train one software developer, just middle skills, it costs about 16,000 rands. Now, to really go a licensed software developer, it costs about 100,000 rand. So it's quite a lot of money. So in other words, Africa will not even afford to train these people. So that is why we have seen that gap, and that is why this initiative that we are doing.
And congratulations for plugging in the gap. I do wonder, though, is it an affordability issue or is it a matter of will? Yes, it is expensive, and you rightfully note the burgeoning youth population on the continent. We need to create a continent of people who are independent and not dependent.
Definitely, you see, it's a mixture of a couple of things here if you look at it. One, of course, there is a cost factor that's driving, because normally when something is new, it costs a little bit more. But we hope that as it matures, especially the skill of software developing, it will come down a little bit. But again, there is that issue of the will. Let me tell you something. In Africa here, there's quite a lot of will. We deal with a number of youth all the time, in Sci Bono, in the schools, in different provinces across Africa. There is a much enthusiasm amongst African youth. All what they need is exposure to do. That I can assure you. I've seen it happening number of times. If you just give these young people that window of little opportunity, you will be amazed with what they can innovate. I am convinced that there are a lot of brains in Africa amongst the youth that can innovate. Your Python, all these kinds of the software programs that are being used. It's just that they don't have that opportunity.
Absolutely. Those who do, though, Doc, on the other hand, then leave the continent for greener pastures, right? So we then lose those. So with this program, how to then also retain the ones that you will be training?
Of course, that's a very important thing, because normally once we put all these investments into our youth, of course, where developed countries with powerful of money and salaries, then they start attracting all these youth for ourselves. Now, what we intend to do, the number itself of 1 million target in 2027, that's one way to guarantee that even if they could take as much as they can, but hopefully with the 1 million, we'll still have retained some of them. But secondly, these youth, once through this program, it's not about just training them. We put them amongst their peers. We create opportunities for them to start innovating their own products, and then we couple them with ideas for entrepreneurship, business starting, developing things. Now, if they acquire all those skills combined with software programming, then it will be easier for them to create opportunities here in Africa, which are not likely there abroad, because abroad the market might be saturated. So that is the intention, that there are peers involved in the program, they produce their own products and they invest them back here in Africa in a way that they'll see value. People pick them up. So in other ways, a product of Africa developed by Africans for Africans, definitely that would assist to retain them.
It has a ring to it, a product for Africa developed by Africans. What is the selection criteria?
No, the selection here, I mean, we just look for someone with grade 12 that have passed the grade 12 and between the ages of 18 and 35. And that's all. And the willingness, that's all what we need. If you are willing to do and work, then you are welcome into the program to do.
It doesn't matter which part of the continent you come from.
Well, initial part of it, which is what we call the phase 1, we are concentrating for now on the 6 countries for the 10,000 initial in 2022. And these countries is Kenya, we're looking at Uganda, we're looking at Rwanda, we're looking at Tanzania, we're looking at Burundi, Zambia, and of course South Africa. But this is just for the initial 10,000 now in 2022. And then come the next year, then we'll upscale it. But the intention is, of course, to go right across Africa for that 1 million.
Sure. And what about phase 2 of the program, maybe for people who may not be able to join this first phase for whatever reason? What do they need to know about preparing themselves for the next call?
Yes, the good thing about it is also we're using platform. So if they can access some of our website and they can go to Powerland Project and just Google it and access the website there, you'll start already seeing some of the materials. You'll go through some of our documents in terms of the gap that we are trying to close. You'll also go through in terms of the vision that we're having, including the actual gap that we have identified what's happening. So you can start training yourself and reading through and understanding what's happening. And there's nothing wrong even at this time to give us a call and try and find more information about it. But coming to 2023, we hope, therefore, we'll bring upscaling it, because that is why now we are going into opportunities like you there to go and start spreading the word around the project. So we hope by the time we get to 2023, of course, we have done the first phase and have learned what needs to be improved, needs to be sorted, needs to be balanced, and then come 2023, then we'll start to expand at a rapid pace.
Doc, I do wonder if you are maybe open to people who are willing to volunteer in terms of skills transfer or in whatever capacity for the program.
Absolutely, Dudu. This is actually encompassing all of in Africa here. If you want to volunteer in terms of the already acquired skills that we have in software programming, please feel free to contact us. If, for example, you are one of the teachers working somewhere there and on your part-time, you would like to come and join us, please feel free to do so. So it's open for everyone for the best interest of our youth in the continent. So, and I know, when we launched it during the course of the week, we invited a couple of people with a lot of innovators, for example, that already have raised their hands to say, I've innovated the following in IT, this and this and this, and I'm already available to come and assist. So if there are people out there, again, that is the intention of coming here to say, come together, let's put our hands together in our mission to make sure that we capacitate our youth in the continent. Made in Africa, proudly made in Africa, in fact. Dr. Chakane, thank you very much for availing yourself this morning. He's the CEO of Sci Bono.